Hey guys, how are we doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So this is our Bitcoin evening wrap up. So over to the charts. Yeah, anybody trading today, you're pretty much gonna know that we've had a pretty quiet day today. Not a lot really happened at all. Obviously we had that touch of the top of the range and stop earlier on, but that was before my morning's video. That was 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, so we've just been stuck in this range really. As you can see, the Dominator short time frame has just been flipping to sell buy sell, so not really doing much. Then also our larger time frame has just flipped to sell. So obviously when the market's not really moving anywhere, this is a momentum and trend indicator. So it's gonna obviously be in buy or sell. But if the market isn't moving anywhere, then it's not really gonna give us a strong read or a strong indication on where price is going. So we'll have a look at the levels. So yeah, you can see we broke obviously above our resistance that we needed to get above, and we came back down, but we are currently testing back up it again, which I actually think is a good sign of strength of Bitcoin here, because this was pretty much either an ascending channel or ascending wedge, or however you want to look at it, which had a target of basically anywhere around here at the breakdown, and we clearly didn't perform. So if basically the target isn't reached, then that just shows that the move doesn't quite have the strength that you'd expect it to have. So obviously it shows that the buy strength was quite strong around here. So and as you guys know, spoke about this morning, we know that we've got the bullish hidden bullish divergence on the higher time frames. So that's obviously going to be a pretty that's going to be a big battle for the bears to overcome that. But yeah, it's not possible. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Again, we're getting through this line again, so we do kind of need to get back above here. So we do need to get up and hold above this 9,200 and form a base and start to move up, because I mean, if we come back under it and start playing around in this zone, it's definitely going to be a pretty obvious sell down to the 8,600. So that's all we can see really. Not a lot really going on price action. So yeah, all that I can really read from what's happened today was we dropped out the channel or the wedge, however you want to look at it, and there was still enough buying pressure to stop us reaching the projected target of that. So yeah, we can look at that quite bullish, and that will be reflected anyway also with these sort of candlesticks, these doji candlesticks, where we have a long wick at the bottom, and these are basically bearish indications in price action that manifests itself in the shape of these candles, which show that we went down but we got bought back up. So much the same way you get here, you often get these long wicks down at the bottom of moves. And that's kind of how price then reverses. So you can see we've got one here, you can see we've got one there, you can see we've got them quite clearly there, you can see we get them here, and this move down. So it's often a way price will bottom and then start to move, and then you kind of see this is kind of what candlesticks look more like on the way up. They're just more full bodies, not as many wicks. So yeah. So that's what we're looking at there. So let's have a look at the daily, see if we can see anything on the daily. Daily closing in 4 hours. We'll straighten this up a bit. So yeah, as you can see, it looks fine on the daily. I think, yeah, I'm glad I didn't have drawing tools unlocked then. But yeah, it looks pretty fine on the daily at the moment. We maybe just need to get above the high of this candle, and then which is around 9,300. Get above there, and I mean, nothing's certain in trading. Nothing's not financial advice, but I think 9,700, 9,800 will be the next target, and then we'll either break through on that occasion, or we will come back down. Probably, but the most likely scenario is only around to about here, the support, and then break through. Obviously, that's not necessarily what has to happen. that just in my experience of observing price action, that is just the most likely scenario. We're gonna, if we get above this 9,300, we're gonna go to 9,700 or 800, break through, and then play this range out, or we're gonna get to there, retrace a bit to here, and then break through. That's the most likely scenario. Obviously, you could have a 99% certain scenario, and the 1% scenario can still happen. That's just how it is. People get struck by lightning. All sorts of crazy low percentage odds things can happen. Let's look at the weekly. So the weekly, that's closing, and not too far away, not too long away. The weekly's closing. Yeah, I mean it's just an inside bar, inside candle. So you can see basically all the price actions inside the price action of this candle. So I mean, if we stay here, it's I mean we're obviously in a big uptrend, so this wouldn't necessarily tell us right that's the end of the uptrend, but it could be a better looking candle for the bulls. I mean, not over 9,500, well obviously over 9,700 or so will make it actually a green candle rather than a red. It will obviously look better, but yeah, at the moment it's not looking too bad. Obviously we've got 4 hours to dump straight down, but I mean, it would definitely have to close around the 8,500 level for it to start to look like a potential. We've basically got a potential top in here, but we'll have to basically see what happens there. So yeah, no trades for me on the range and stop, because we're not really moving much, and I don't particularly like trading weekend price action. TD sequential wise. Yeah, nothing there. 4 hour. Have we got anything interesting here? No, not much interesting there, other than we nearly got the 9 sell 9, but not quite. So and we'll have a look on the 1 hour just for the sake of completion. Yeah, not too much going on there. Let's have a look at the moving averages just before before we end this video. Yeah, 4 hour looks like we're getting pinned down by the 21 period. You can see price does react quite well to the 21 period. You can see like we break it down there. We break it up there. We sort of play it a bit, break under, break back up again. You can see break it down there. And then yeah, we're getting guided down by it here. So yeah, but just moving average analysis on this 4 hour time frame. I will potentially, what I'll be looking at is we've obviously got the 21 and the 50 cross death. It's not a death cross. Death cross is specifically the 50 and the 200, but this is a bearish cross. So yeah, I mean, looking at this would tell me we are gonna come down and test the 200 period. That would be my inclination just by looking at this. But obviously this is only one factor in the market. But this could potentially happen. Come back down, come swipe these lows again. This is obviously moving up, so we could end up swiping these lows around here. So we could touch around the 9,000, 8,900 area again. It's not too devastating for the price action or formation. I would potentially I would potentially expect some divergence, some time frames if you got there as well, some bullish divergence. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But failing that, I think we can break back through the 21 like we have obviously on occasion in these down moves, and then have another nice move back up. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here, guys. So yeah, remember, just to sum that up, then we just got to God, these charts. Yeah, so just to sum it up, we just got to get back above this, get back above and hold above basically here, above this high here, and this will pretty much trigger a lot of bear stops that will certainly get us up at least to around this level, and then we'll see what happens there. But I do think at that point the hidden bullish divergence will come into play and get us up to this point, and then it will be a case of, do we have the strength, the inclination to break through there, or do we come back? Do we come back maybe to the 9,500 level, get some more momentum before we potentially actually start the bull run, the Bitcoin bull run of 2020. This is literally, we are very close to basically blue skies blue sky breakouts here, guys. So yeah, so there's a lot of positives. I know that I do seem quite bullish, but I will always be bullish when we have these sort of larger time frame indicators and we sat pressing against multi-year macro resistance trend lines, putting in higher lows. Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, if we come down to the middle, if we come down to the bottom, I will be bearish. I will be the opposite. I won't be like, yes, we're gonna go to new time highs and start the bull run of 2020. Price actions bouncing off the bottom of the bottom trend line support. I mean, I clearly will be bearish. So yeah, so bear that in mind when you maybe think I'm just been overly optimistic for no apparent reason. It's not no apparent reason. It's the price action basically. I mean, if we just look at the difference in the price action here when we last came up to this line, I mean, we clearly put in a head and shoulders. We put in head and shoulders upon head and shoulders upon head and shoulders here. We weren't, I mean, you can't necessarily show me the same higher lows that we were putting in after we came up to the top. We came and touched it once. We didn't quite get there again. We put in a lower high, then a lower high, then a lower high, lower low. So if you look at it now, whilst I guess these are technically lower highs, I mean, you can see they're one, a lot closer, and two, there's a lot more of them. And price action is still hanging around this area. We had a more significant pullback and we got ourselves all the way back up. That's akin to this pullback here and then getting all the way back up, which we quite clearly didn't do. And yeah, so I mean, not to mention just in pure nominal terms, I mean, this is a pretty crude way of looking at price action, but this number here is lower, so it's a lower number for us to break through, and there's always going to be people more interested in buying at a lower price when we're at macro resistance at a lower price. This is why you'll often get in charts, you'll get downtrends that literally get pushed down so low in a perfect downtrend, and eventually all of a sudden they'll just shoot up. That's because there's a lot more people interested in taking buys when an asset is a lot lower value. So whilst, okay, this is not a lot lower value, it's quite considerably lower than when we got up to this level before. It's quite considerable. It's not considerably low, but it is lower than this 10,500 level here. So this is looking bullish, guys. I mean, that's where my bullish view is coming from. No hopium, no moon boy mentality here. It's just what I'm seeing in the charts. I mean, if this is the best chance I have seen for us to start, for us to basically get back up to back up to all-time highs that I've seen in Bitcoin in a while. This run was looking pretty good, but this run was it was just quite an extensive run. From, I know that we did wick down here to quite low, but we could basically say really the average low price action was around the 5,000s. We did stay down here in the 3,000s for months. So all the way from the 3,000s all the way up to 14,000, that is a pretty unsustainable move, rather than if we say an average of 5,000 to, even if we say an average of 10,000, that's a 2x, but 3,000 and some change to 14,000 is basically a 4x, over a 4x, isn't it? Depending how much change you add on to the 3,000. But yeah, so 2x over 4x. I mean, what do you think, guys? We got more room to move. We're at a lower price point. We're more mature in the formation, and I will stop justifying my bullish sentiment. Anyway, so remember, guys, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I'll be back at you guys with another video tomorrow morning.